Welcome back to the Payments News Hub. What would top your list if you could sit down with industry experts and ask them anything? We recently had that chance and covered everything from mobile wallets to regulation to commercial payments and much more. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this episode.
Right now in this industry, what I'm most excited about is the blurring of the lines of online and offline and mobile commerce. The omnichannel commerce opportunities with the identity that can be derived based on somebody's behavior patterns and usage of their mobile devices really avails for the first time the brick and mortar retailers with the kind of data about who is coming into their store and what they're doing that used to be reserved only for online.
So think about things like cell towers and internet and mobile phones and tablets and PCs and satellites. So what that has given to our society is a brand new public global infrastructure. And what companies are now able to do, businesses are able to do, entrepreneurs are able to do, is utilize that infrastructure to come at individual products and services across the payments industry, the banking industry, the investment industry, and in effect completely re-engineer those products and services using that modern technology.
The biggest innovations in the space are kind of twofold. I think one is the proliferation of software at the merchant. It's cheap, it's easy to access, and it's abundant. And so what we're seeing is a lot of merchants are able to get software to help them run their business, add merchants, and retain merchants, and they're embedding payments within that. So that's one area that's changing. Another innovation is really just the impact of digital and mobile and that it's had on the consumer.
As you look at mobile payments and as we see this space evolving, we've kind of crossed through the technology hurdles of getting something that's relatively simple, straightforward for consumers to adopt. The challenge is getting the consumers to adopt.
The payment processing industry really suffers under a range of threats, and the threats probably are more than anything driven by legislation. And the cost of compliance to generate one transaction is heavy. And the biggest risk that they're managing going forward is how they introduce new products, new platforms, new technology inside the constraints of the legislation that they have to live with.
A lot of the largest companies are having to spend a lot of their resources just in the compliance side, which opens the door for smaller companies to innovate. And it's a lot easier for these bigger companies to use those dollars to buy the innovative companies than it is recognizing I can't do this internally myself.
Due to the low interest rate market right now, we see more and more pension funds, hedge funds, insurance coming into the market. Because suddenly in terms of fintech space, with these platforms, you have a wealth of information, of data, where these non-traditional financial institutions, they can come into this space and provide financing at a much larger scale.
I think that there are so many creative thinkers, and not only creative thinkers, but those that have found ways to execute on their concepts and ideas in ways that traditional players and traditional providers in commercial payments haven't been able to do. And so what excites me is this new trend that we're seeing where legacy providers are really partnering with fintech startups. And I think that the outcome of that is just going to be fantastic, and it's going to benefit the customer, and that's really exciting.